Hi everyone, it's Veronica, and I am here to share what I created for the Paper Doll Collab, which is being hosted by Poetspice. And this is a collab where we're pulling out dies, stamps, stencils, anything that you can use to layer, and we're creating images or embellishments. Now, we have been posting every Saturday in the month of July. So this will be the final Saturday that I will be posting with the collab. Jamie is going to continue the collab through August. So if you're interested in joining, please let her know. Or you can continue to watch, leave comments, be inspired by using the hashtag Paper Dolls for Poet 2026, and that hashtag will be in the description box as well as the link to all the collaborators. Okay, today I decided to use Colorize dies. So I know Betty, who is Scrap Passion 01, has been using them the last couple of installments, so you definitely want to check that out. But this is my first time using them. Have had a couple of them for a while, but I was so glad to be able to pull them out and get some embellishments made. So let me go ahead and share with you the products that I used and what I created. Okay, for the first one, I am using this Colorize die, and this is one that Audrey, who is Sewgoodall, shared with me. And this is called Bow Tied. Let's see if you can see that. Okay, Bow Tied Colorize. All right, I pulled out this stamp set from LDRS, and I used the sentiment from My Home to Yours, and it also has the coordinating dies. It has the die to cut the stamp as well as the layering die or background die. I use gold embossing powder. This die set from Sizzix, and it is Holiday Greens Mini. Some gold paper. This is probably my last piece, so I need to go purchase some more. And this red paper is a stack from Michaels, and it has different shades of red. Okay, so I did the bow, and I did this one to show you the differences and variation in the colors. So you can put this on a card, you can leave the ties as long as you want, you can put them in any configuration that you want. Okay, and what I did was created a panel for a card, and I used the red and gold. Here's that sentiment from LDRS, and as you can see, I cut the ribbons off. And what I'm going to put in the center when I find one is a small poinsettia, and I want it in white to help with that white right there, so that you can see how that would look. I think that is so pretty. It kind of brightens up everything. All right, so that is the first creation. And then for the next one, I used, let me get these out of the way, this Colorize die. This is called Cafe Colorize. Haha, and there's my cup. I also used Distress Oxide inks, and those are all the colors. And 2 Copic markers in gray. Okay. So the reason I used the distress inks was that I cut these out in white. I didn't have enough brown paper, because if you look at his tutorial, you'll see that you may need 6 different browns, or however you want to do it. And you don't have to do it in brown. You can do it in any colors that you choose. And I know years ago, You See Why I'm a Diva did do that. So I'll have her video linked in the description box to show you how she did it in colors. But I wanted it to stay this color to use on cards. But this one is the teacup. And this is the latte cup. I think those turned out so cute. But I used all Distress Oxide inks to ink blend the papers, the white paper. All right, so that's that. And then I used this die, and this one is called Bloom Colorize. And with this, I also used my Spellbinders papers. And this is how that turned out. All right, so you see this cling wrap here. What I did when I finished it, I really wasn't set on how I wanted the arrangement done. So I did it like this, left it, came back the next day and looked at it and really liked it. But to keep the pieces where I have them, I use this cling wrap to put over it. And that way, when I go to pick it up to glue it together, it'll be in place. Got it kind of loose there. But I put it on a card base so I could see how it would look. And of course, I would do more to it when I use it. But I wanted to make sure the pieces stayed where I had them. But those turned out really, really pretty. All right, and then for the last one, I used this die. And this is Winston Colorize. And I think it was a couple of years ago that hashtag 2crafters1design had a theme of snowmen. And this is the die that they used. I didn't have that die at the time. I just used the snowman die that I had. But as fate would have it, a week or so later when I walked into Hobby Lobby, there it was on the back wall with all the clearance stuff. So this is what I used. And I did use the Spellbinders papers again. And here is Winston in all his glory with his scarf, which I think is adorable. And as you can see, I also used glossy accents on his eyes, the buttons, and the holly berries. But that is how he turned out. Okay, so those are my creations for this installment. Again, make sure you check the description box for the links to all of the collaborators. And again, if you're interested in joining, you can for the month of August. I'll probably just drop in here and there with the hashtag. I just didn't want to commit for this particular month. But make sure you check everyone else's channel out. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Happy crafting!